Say you need a surplus to grow, they say you need a deficit to lose. But here's the thing, it's not entirely true. You train properly, eat smart, recover well, you can do both at the exact same time. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Instead of bouncing around between bulking and cutting, you just want to look stronger, leaner, and actually feel better without gaining and losing the same 5 to 15 kilos year round, then this is your exact plan. You don't need to live your life inside MyFitnessPal or bulk until you become so fat you can't see your toes. Let me explain why. So firstly, what is the term for building muscle and actually losing fat at the same time? Well, it's called body recomposition. See, this used to be seen as impossible, but newer studies and real people show it happens more than we thought, especially if you're new to proper lifting, you've had time off and are getting back into it, or you've never combined a high protein diet with serious training. If that's you, you are a very, very lucky man. Back when I got into lifting properly and lost 30 kilos in 8 months, I was lifting with 200 grams of protein, so I was aiming for around 1.2 gram per pound of body weight, which leads me on to how much do we actually need to eat, okay? Do we need a deficit or do we need a surplus? This confuses people most, so here's the deal. You don't need a deep deficit or a crazy surplus. You need to be close to maintenance, maybe slightly above or below, and combine that with high protein and heavy resistance training. There's plenty of studies out there to show people gaining muscle and losing fat while eating at or just above maintenance. So, how to set your calories up? So for the easiest starting point, I would suggest using a simple calorie calculator. Harrison-Benedict formula is the best in my personal opinion. With that, what I would suggest is that will spit out roughly your maintenance calories. Within that first initial week, you need to be finding if that is your true maintenance. So go about that week on the calories that it's actually spit out. If you gain weight within that week, you know you're in a surplus. If you lose weight in that week, you know you're in a deficit. If you're gaining weight too quickly, we need to pull back. If you're losing weight too quickly, you need to bring your calories up slightly. Then when you have your calories, protein is the next thing we need to worry about, okay? So how much do you actually need? You see a lot of people, a lot of different studies suggesting a lot of different things. Keep things simple and go 1 gram per pound of body weight, okay? So a 180 pound person would obviously want 180 grams per protein per body weight. But there's actually studies showing that people are gonna get a lot better results in a shorter time frame with upwards of 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight. But what I would suggest is if you are going to aim towards that, if you're already around 0.6, 0.8 per gram per pound of body weight, do not try and make that massive jump. It's not going to be good on your digestion. It's also going to be harder to stick to, which can cause motivation to dip because you don't think you're sticking to the plan. Okay, so gradually build that up over weeks and months. I would suggest aiming for around 30 to 50 grams of protein per day and try and spread that across around 3 to 5 meals a day just to help obviously with that digestion. Don't worry if one meal is a little bit too low. Just focus on hitting your daily protein total. The thing that you might hear often when we speak about a higher protein diet is people are worried about their kidneys or protein turning to sugar, for example. There's no strong evidence that high protein harms healthy kidneys. And yes, extra protein can be converted to energy, but it doesn't automatically cause insulin resistance. Protein has a high thermic effect. Your body burns calories just through digestion. And that's actually helpful for recomposition. Next, we need to move on to the training section. So how to spark recomp through your training. So training plan basics really is lift heavy 3 to 4 times per week, 3 to 6 hard sets per muscle group per session. That's a lot of pers. With your rep structure, I would suggest in and around 6 to 15 reps. Again, just for clarity, you can build muscle within 5 upwards of 30 reps. But again, thinking about a lack of time, you don't want to be in the gym trying to hit 20, 25, 30 reps. When we've got stuff to do in the day, we need to get in there, we need to get out, we need to get maximum results in the shortest time frame. Also need to make sure you are working to true muscular failure. Again, every single set should be done to maximum intensity, not leaving too many reps in the tank. I would stay, if you're not happy with obviously pushing to you physically cannot do another rep, because you've not got a spot, you're worried about dropping the weight on yourself, stay around 1 to 2 reps away from failure. And then focus on progressive overload every single week in every single session. So again, making sure you are tracking your numbers while we're on that point. So when you can see you've tracked the squats over 4, 8, 12, 16 weeks, and then you look back from week 1 to week 12 or 16, you can see how far you've come, and you can see that, right, a stronger muscle is a bigger muscle. If your lifts are improving, you know you're moving in the right direction. yes, your obviously weight will be going up, but we know there that we're adding on good quality weight through muscle and not body fat. And finally, if you are wanting to put a little bit of cardio in there, I would do cardio around 1 to 3 times a week, maybe 45, 60 minutes per session, making sure that it is zone 2 work. So nothing strenuous over 140, 150 beats per minute. Again, you want to make sure that yes, you are using cardio to build up your endurance. We don't want to be doing too much work on the upper end of that heart rate because it's going to impact your weight training, and weight training is obviously what's going to generate obviously the most amount of muscle. Okay, so if we're burning ourselves out in the actual cardio, again, it's going to impact our lifts. So to round everything off, you need to work out your maintenance using the calorie calculator that I've mentioned. Then you need to run it for a week to find out your true maintenance, alongside hitting at least 1 gram per pound of body weight in terms of protein. You need to make sure that you're training at least 3 to 4 times a week, heavy, and making sure that we are working very, very close to failure, if not failure. You want to make sure you're tracking your lifts weekly, so we are focused on progressive overload every single week, and we're seeing new reps and we're seeing weight go up every single week. And finally, make adjustments when needed. The more ways you track, the more ways you can win. So you need to be looking at your measurements, arms, chest, waist, everything like that. You need to be looking at progress pictures. You need to be looking at logbook numbers, as we've mentioned. And you need to be tracking scale weight because, as I said earlier, yes, the focus is we want that scale weight to be gradually going up around 0.2 to 0.3 kilos per week. And if your scale weight is staying the same and your lifts aren't moving much in the gym, it's time then to drip feed yourself some more food. Maybe an increase in 100 or 150 calories within that week. Test it. If the scale weight starts to build again and your strength in the gym goes up, then perfect, keep at that. If not, drip feed yourself a little bit more food until you see obviously the positive changes. Keep it there. Do not, I repeat, do not add too much food too soon because you'll get spillover and then you'll start to add unnecessary body fat, and that is obviously not what you want. Food is fuel, remember? Give your body the fuel that it needs when it needs it, but only when it needs it. And you're going to know when it needs it when you're tracking all these other metrics. So yeah, you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time, but there needs to be a lot of structure to it. You need a routine, you need structure with your nutrition, with your training, with your recovery, with your sleep. Once you are ticking all of them boxes, but done consistently, you will be recomping, you will build muscle, and you will drop body fat. If that sounds like a lot, I've got a 6-step guide in the description box. So just click on the link, fill in your details, and I'll send that straight over. That's going to help you get in the best shape possible, as quickly as possible, and as easy as possible. If you like the video, drop us a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, I almost forgot. If you like this video, YouTube suggests you would probably like this one.